Hello FlowStube, this is Anna from BB Free AV channel and welcome back for my midweek update. And today I'd like to talk about my change in plans with regards to my rotations. I have decided that once we get back from the holidays, I will be participating in several stitch alongs, and because of that I'll need to rearrange the way I do my projects. I can't just decide I'm going to focus on one for a month, because then all the lovely things I would love to stitch for my stash never get touched. So what I'd like to talk to you about is there are 4 stitch alongs which I will definitely be doing every single month, and then there is a 5th one which is kind of floating with us, and then the 6th project is my big decision this year to stitch all the freebies from the British version of the cross stitch magazine as they come out. So I'm gonna start doing this when we come back. We're coming back from our summer holidays on the 13th of August, and I will start participating in this rotation. Let's see, testing and seeing how it's going to work from the 15th, which will be midweek. So from week 3. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to walk you through week 1 to 4, but I will be starting with week 3. So for week 1, I have decided I'm gonna attempt to finish my Mirabilia. I have one Mirabilia I have started, and I have shown you this in my very first introductory video. My very first Mirabilia, and this is the Sleeping Princess, design 123 from 2012, and I'm stitching this from the bottom up, and I'm beading as I'm going along. This is about 2/3 done from the bottom up, but I haven't touched the skin. Once I start the skin, it will slow me down because I will be doing petit point. What I will do here is I will insert another video which I have done with my phone with a much better resolution to actually show you all the sparkly detail. What I have to say now is that if I had to do this again, I don't think I would start beading as I go along, for a simple reason. It uses a variety of beads from the petite all the mill heel, so for the petite one all the way to size 8, and the size 8 one, because the way I stitch them, I touch them not horizontally, I touch them across. When I scroll it, even though I use the padding, I use tissue paper as the padding, they still go on the side, and the thread I'm using to attach them with stretches, so when I unroll it, I have realized some of them are not sticking up, and I'm going to talk about it when I zoom in into the video.
Okay guys, so here's the zoom in into my Mirabilia design. This is a Sleeping Princess MD123. I think it's 2012 design, and I'm taking the zoom in with my phone because it theoretically should allow much better resolution. So as you can see, I have started stitching bottom up, and I'm beading everything as I go along. So if I zoom in, you can see it has little petite bits. Here is a good example of a variety of bits. So you would have size 8 and size 6. You would have regular ones. And it has been folded, so I'm stitching this on a millennium frame, and I'm beading as I go along. So I roll it and I pad using tissue paper. I'm not gonna wash this. I'm gonna iron this. So I'm hoping they're gonna stay out. If I ever do another Mirabilia, and I'm planning to do another Mirabilia, I'm probably not gonna choose to bead until the very end. So you can see this is done with Crainic number 4 braid, and again I have beaded. This is 2 types of beads, so you have number 8 and you have a regular size. Step 6, you have a massive throw. It's easy to stitch because you have big color blocks for everything, but I slightly regret beading straight away, simply because with the larger beads they do tend to go on the side, and when I roll them, that holds them. So you can see the supposedly transparent it's not transparent, but supposedly invisible thread I have used. So all of this, let's resume, refocus. All of this has been beaded as I went along. I'm not using tripod, I don't have a tripod, so if it does shake, I do apologize. I do back stitching again as I go along. And you can see I do secure on the top, so all of those little ends will be covers. This is the beginning of the pillowcase, so when you have the pillow, then you would have the face roughly here. So her body will go over there, and I will be doing this as a petite point. All of this again has been stitched and beaded. And just to show you in comparison, so this is the work, the actual picture, and you can see where I am roughly. Sorry. So I'm about 2/3 done. It's one of the larger ones, simply because as well as having the lady, the princess, you have all the extras. But in terms of stitching itself, it's relatively straightforward. I would highly recommend this design, particularly to those of you who are new to Mirabilia, because I think the color blocks make it really easy. You don't have any specialty threads, so all the bling comes from Claynic, which is metallic. You have two types of metallic you use here, and you have different size beads, but no silks. So theoretically, if you don't want to bead as you go along, you can give it a wash, you can give it a bit of an iron, and then you can start beading. And because I'm a scroller, use scroll frames, I now realize it would have been a much better idea, but what's done is done. I'm not unpicking any of that. I'll just give it a good steam from the back, using padding, take it to my framer. And if it's really a complete disaster and the beads are just not standing up, I'll glue them. That's the sorry fact, but I will be forced to glue them.
I remembered how poorly visible it was. And the idea behind this for me is I will be working on this in the first week of the month for the entire week. This will be my focus piece. And the stitch along I participate in this is called Tiny Mirabilia or Secrets of Mirabilia. And it's a yearly long stitch along for Mirabilia running on the Russian YouTube. Lots and lots of girls are participating. I'm not going to make a separate video introducing the project. I'm not going to start a new project. I'm just going to enter it with my current whip. I would love to see this finished. I initially started this as part of a different stitch along, the one started by Amanda, the Miss Milky Bar kit, back in January 2015. I've started on the 1st of January and I was actively working on this, but then we went on holiday last year and I never touched it since we came back. It's going to be practically a year. It will be actually a year between the time I stopped it and the time I will resume working on this. I would love to finish this. I have several Mirabilis in my stash. 3 are fully kitted, and I would love to start them. I don't know whether or not I'm going to finish this between mid-August and effectively end of December, but I'll give it a go and see how far I can actually work with this project. Would love to see this finished and framed in my bedroom where the venue space is at the moment. That's the space reserved for her. So for those of you who don't remember how she looks, this is the design I've been talking about. Sleeping Princess, and I have all the materials obviously still intact. This would be my project for week 1. So Tiny Mirabilia, Secrets of Mirabilia stitch along, and it's on Instagram as well. There's lots of Russian girls participating. For week 2 of each month, to get away from the sparkly bits, I will be working on a new design for me. Again, it's the kit I have shown previously. It's the Russian brand. It's a new Russian brand called Сделай своими руками. And it's called A Kingdom of Books. I have been invited to join a Facebook stitch along by a lovely stitcher by PC. I think her name is Beverly. Everyone calls her Bev. So I have joined the Instagram, not the Instagram, the Facebook group. And I'm seeing lots and lots of stitchers doing this. I'm going to be swapping the eye that it comes with for this beautiful fabric. This is hand dyed by Stephanie. This is 20 count Jobelin in Nantucket Sky, and the piece I have purchased is 28 by 36 inches, so it's a big project. And I don't know how quickly it will be happening with me stitching this only for a week once a month, so 12 weeks a year. It's better than it's just laying somewhere waiting to be touched. As I mentioned previously, I'm going to be omitting all of this wood section. I will just have fabric coming from the behind, looking at the sky. And the thread, I did a little bit of research for this. This is a Russian company, PMK имени Kirova, and it's supposed to be an analog for SHS, the Chinese brand, which is an analog of DMC. But they don't look like DMC to me. Of course, they look closer like Madeira, but there are lots of conversion charts you can find online if you're stitching this project and you're running out. They recommend on the either they provide, I can't even remember, count 14 to go with 3 threads for better coverage. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to stick with 2 threads on a 28 count, and I think it will work really well. We'll see. The chart is colored. I don't like colored chart. I think I find them slower to work with, but we'll have a go. So that's the stitch along number 2. Interestingly enough, there is another stitch along running with the same project on the Russian Instagram, and it's run by the Crossville Pro online shop where I have purchased this kit from. And what they do is the girls show their progress twice a month, on the 15th of each month and the 1st. It has started in April and it's running for the entire year, so it gives me a year to complete it with them. So basically it's 2 very similar stitch alongs, the same design, and this will be my week 2, so I can show it in the middle of the month. Lots of colors, 59 different shades, so it's large. It will take me a long time, but as I mentioned, it's better to have started than just look at it. For my week 3 of every single month, I would like to go back to sparkly bits and achieve one of the goals I planned initially, well, kind of challenge for myself. I would like to get over the fear of my Chatelaines. I'm terrified to start my Chatelaines. When I showed you my designer 2 stash, I talked about the fully kitted project. And the one I would like to do, I'm not going to show you the chart because it's electronic, that's the mini mandala 1. The lovely Array have stitched it, and I purchased it from Cindy. So it came searched, 3 little designs, something simple to work with. I don't think I can complete 1 piece a week. It's not going to happen, but maybe 1 piece in 3 months. So 9 months and I will be over. It has some specialty threads I have shown you before. It has few water lilies. It has a little bit of beads, and it has a tiny amount of petite treasure braid. There are only 3 colors, but one of them used 2 bobbins. As I mentioned previously, I will add fabric on the side so I can use my Millennium frame, and I will spend the whole week solidly working on this piece for week 3 each month. So when I come back from holidays, this will be the number 1 project I will pick up. For my project number 4 for the stitch along, this is going to be my alphabet, my school of prayer school alphabet, which I'm doing as part of a stitch along run by the Cross Stitch Finish Line face group. They're doing Know Your Alphabet, and lots of you have done it or have started this. A lot of you have these patterns in your stash, and I got enabled to do this by Jessie Marida stuff. She is also starting with the A. I have started this on a Sunday on the 26th. We meant to do 1 letter on the 26th of each month because there are 26 letters in the English alphabet. So I have started on a Sunday and I haven't progressed that far, and I'm not so sure you can actually see the detail of this because the camera is not really good. I might shoot a small video and add it on a Sunday because the aim is to complete this first letter by the end of this week. Today is Thursday, I haven't done pretty much any stitching on it since Monday, so I've done Sunday, a bit of Monday, done the bottom section. I'm swapping lots of colors because the original colors just did not look nice on my dark vintage mocha. This is Zweigert and this is count 40, so it will be quite small. And as I've mentioned previously, I will be doing 30 designs, not 28. So I'll do 26. So I'll do 26 letters and I'll do 2 seasons. If you ever Google this design, one of the first images which comes up is the image of the finished one on Pinterest, where they used 4 seasons as well. So you can have 6 blocks going across with 5 going down. 30 would just be nicely arranged. And I have brought the chart which had arrived earlier this week for the seasons. So to do my seasons, I decided to use a very old School of Prayer design. This is book number 50. And the sizes of those blocks are slightly different, but very slightly different. So I have done my working copy, I photocopy everything. It's 90 stitches high and 73 wide. So letter N for November in the original selection of 26 is 73 across. So it's wider than the rest of designs. Like the A I'm doing is 100 by 70. So that will be fine, and the fact that it's 90 will give me a little bit of space underneath, so I can say, for example, the way I want to do it is I'm going to have spring summer on the top and then autumn winter on the bottom. So under the spring and summer, what I would love to do is to have a month when I've started, so that would be June, and then the year 2016, and then underneath the autumn and the winter I'm going to write the month I finish and the year, which will probably be 2018. We'll see how that goes. However, even though originally I thought I'll do the 2 blocks next to my A and just go across to complete the top, I'm now not going to do this for 2 reasons. Number one, I'm not that confident with my counting. What I will do is I'll do A, B, C, D, so the 4 on the top, and then I'll do the 4 underneath and go across. Once I do the first 2 rows, well, minus the seasons, I'll go back to seasons and do the seasons. And the number 2 reason is the colors. I'm going to be swapping colors just like I'm swapping here. I don't want to end up using anything outside the colors I'm using for the letters. So far for the working charts, there are 3 colors which overlap with this, and what I'm doing is I'm going by the description of the color rather than the DMC. So if it says light gold, and I don't like the recommended DMC thread, I'm using the light gold from my stash instead. It's a lot of floss tossing for this. The vast majority of colors for A had to be swapped because they were just too dim and I couldn't see them, so I had to go for more vibrant, so several shades brighter. And I love working on this. I love the count 40, the way it looks. Just a bit tired of all the brown, the bold, because it's just endless rows of 1 cross. But yeah, that would be week 4. That would be the stitch along I'm doing with Jessie Marie in particular online on the Facebook cross stitch finish line. So that's the 4 weeks of the month. That's already quite a lot for me to deal with. On top of this, once a month I get my cross stitching magazine, which comes with a freebie, and I would try to use that whole month until the next issue comes in to complete that freebie. For example, the freebie I received last week to make a pincushion, I have started it. I've done tiny amounts, but I have started this. And there is a 5th stitch along, which is kind of floating there as well. And Jessie Marie is doing this. Well, it's not stitch along per se. Maybe there is, but I just haven't found it yet. But I would love to have the Cricket Collection seasons done. So far, I only have the first 4 designs I've purchased. So I start in September, so I have September, October, November, and December. I have the recommended fabric for them. Recommended fabric is count 30 R&R reproductions. So I've shown you this before. Those are the 4 colors I have. And I have the vast majority of the treasures and extra bits required for this project. Bits, not beads, bits. So, for instance, I have all the cranic. So for those 4 designs, there are 5 different shades needed, all braid number 4. So you have red, you have gold, which is very similar to my Petite Treasure braid. I should have swapped, but I just ordered from 1 to 3 stitch. You have really sparkly white, which looks exactly like the Petite Treasure point, the one I want to use on the princess, and this lovely green. So 5 colors. Cranics are not that expensive. What was really expensive is the silks. The silks were expensive, I'm not gonna lie, so I'm using this. This is prairie grass. I love this shade. It's a visible variegation, sort of harvesty yellow orangey colors to green. I'm using green harvest, and this is used in September. It's a bottle green, it's very gentle. I do like this color. My only worry is I'm not sure whether or not it's going to be enough. And the reason is it's used in all the letterings for September. This is the color used. And they're not cheap. And I don't want to buy another one, but I might have to. And then you use acorn woods and bark and branches. I have never worked with silk. That would be a new experience. I know people say it's amazing, but it's not cheap, guys, as you well know, to actually buy and kit up the project. And then I also got this, and I'm sorry if it's going to make a noise. I haven't opened it yet, so it's new for me. It's the Mill Heat Treasure Packs. You have this for the cats. This is for September pack. So everything in this little bag goes with the September. So you have a black cat. It's quite cute. You have a house, an owl, and a little leaf. Stop shaking. And then, so this is September. There are bits missing which I haven't purchased for October. There is nothing to be used in November, unless I'm talking absolute rubbish to you guys. I am talking absolute rubbish to you guys. This is everything. So September, October, September and October. So there is a second bit. They have books and sunflower. Sunflower and books are used in September. Leaves are mostly used in October. There is nothing in November. And there is nothing in December, just the cranics. So there is a silk missing. One mosquito, which is going to arrive. And that means I have fully kitted the first 4. Interestingly enough, I was looking on 1 to 3 Stitch doing my wish list, sort of for January onwards. And they're cheaper because they don't have those little treasures. Or they don't have the silks, the specialty threads. So we'll see. But it is expensive. The fabric is expensive. The charts are expensive. I will be buying at least the charts in case something happens and they're difficult to get. But I would love to stitch them. And maybe if I fit it in for a couple of days each week, or maybe on the weekend, I can then do all 5 or 6 with the cross stitcher. Yeah, that's the idea. How much I manage from this, I honestly have no idea, because I got my timetable for the next year, and next year, school-wise, I think the first term I'll pretty much have no stitcher time, apart of the weekend, but I will have to do planning lessons on the weekend. I'm going to be 50-50 biology, physics, so I have a lot more physics responsibility. And I will be teaching sort of higher tier, so A star students. So everything above is, oh, we're moving away. So we used to have, like you have in America, guys, A, B, C, D, E, F. We're now moving to numbers. So we're going to have 1 to 9, with 9 being the highest. Like in Germany, but in Germany 1 is the highest. In UK they decided 9 is going to be the highest. You know where it's going? It's going to be 10 at some point. But no one knows where CD boundary is, whether it's 5 to 4, what does 5 mean? Does it 5 mean C plus, or does it mean C, or does it mean C minus? It's a bit of uncertainty. We're also doing terminal GCSEs in terminal A levels, so you don't have exams in the I year, or in year 10, we call it I year in my school, in year 10. All the exams are assessed in the end of your GCSE. It's a new spec, and it's still changing. I've started teaching it this year for both biology and for physics. And we were told, oh, this topic is probably going to be in this mock exam government would like you to do next year when they're in year 10. So I've taught them those topics, but now they say, no, we realize, no, they're going to be not examined next year. It's a complete mess. I mean, as usual, why do they need to change curriculum every 5 years if they can't even decide what's inside the curriculum? Well, thank you, Michael Gove, now you want to be Prime Minister. You have to realize not every kid can actually go through that extensive, not every kid is capable of comprehending top-level maths and rearrangement. You can't do specific kid capacity calculations with someone who is not capable of doing maths. You give them the formula in year 9 and they look at you and they go like, what? Yeah, it's going to be interesting, and I'm going to be very full. Like, I don't have a single lesson to plan. You know, some schools you have your timetable and you have lessons to plan lessons, but I don't have those. I will be teaching 5 periods a day, every day, pretty much. I have a couple of 4 hours. I'll be very, very full, and I'll have 5 year 9 classes, 4 year 10, 4 year 11. I don't teach lower 6. I will be teaching upper 6, which is a new spec as well. Completely new spec. Everything is a new spec. So I have to learn 5 different specifications. It's not about my subject knowledge. My subject knowledge is fine. It's how I deliver that subject knowledge. So A, it fulfills the brief. B, I can guess what the examiner will want, because we don't have an understanding of what the examiner will want, and I'm not sure they do. They keep changing their mind. But the kid is happy and understands it and can make a decision about the levels he or she would like to do after, or go to college and find apprenticeship. I have to guarantee they achieve the grade they achieve based on the key stage 2 data, which now is not going to have an exam anymore because they abandoned those exams. So if their teacher decides to tell me they're going to get an A, I just have to believe them. I don't know what's going to happen next year. I think I'm just going to do what happened to me last year. Last year I was at work until 7 every day for the first term. There was no teaching, there was no meeting. It was just like work, go home, go to bed, wake up at 6, drive to school, work. Because I don't want my kids to fail. Like, I want them to succeed. I'm going to have some kids applying to Cambridge and Oxford next year from my upper 6. They already applied. Like, they're already doing the open days and already going to see departments, already going to see colleges. And their UCAS application will have to be done by October. So I'm going to be writing lots of references for that. Yeah. But I'll give it a go. At least 2 weeks in August, I can give it a go and see how far it takes me. Right, I'll insert a small video of my Mirabilia. This is my official joining of that Russian stitch along for the Mirabilia. And if I can accomplish something by the end of the year, I would like to finish my Mirabilia design and at least one of the 3 tiny mandalas. And I'll be happy. If I can accomplish that, I'll be very, very happy camper. See you guys on the Sunday with my weekly update. Bye.